What's up, witches? It's the Zen Witch here in my snuggly robe with my coffee, with a reading of the upcoming full moon chart. It's November 30th, 2020 at 4:29 a.m. And I want to especially say hello to my early access patrons who are getting a look at this chart as well. So we go down to the elements and modes chart in the corner to find that we do not have a chart signature for this chart. If we take out the midheaven in fire, then fire comes a little bit below water, but then we have fixed angles at the midheaven and ascendant. If we take those out, it could bring fixity back to where it's not predominant. So I'm not going to call a chart signature for this, although we do have fire and water predominating, the basic big elements, creativity and emotions, passion and emotion. So let's look at the chart itself. And again, we got to ignore house cusps if you do not live in the same zone that I live in. And this is a full moon eclipse, which means that it's going to shine a spotlight in your chart. It kind of just spotlights a place in your chart until the next cycle comes around, until the next eclipse. So please pay attention to where these sit in your chart. Sun is at 8 degrees of Sag and moon opposing that in Gemini. So you're particularly, like I said, going to look at the houses that eclipse is sitting in and the houses that your sun and your moon rule. That means the sign on the cusp, the ones with Leo and Cancer on the cusp. You also want to look at any planets that you have occupying anywhere from 6 to 6 degrees 38 minutes to 10 degrees 38 minutes. That gives you a 2-degree orb, which is what we give in transits. That means a fudge factor. Okay, so if you have any planets between 6 and 10 degrees, take a look at them. If they're in mutable signs, this is particularly going to hit you because it's either going to conjunct those planets or there's going to be some squares going on. If there's a conjunction, of course, there's also going to be an opposition because this is a full moon and it's an opposition. You also want to look at your air signs because of the moon in Gemini. Anything that occupies 6 to 10 degrees of an air sign will be affected. Anything that occupies 6 to 10 degrees of a fire sign will be affected. This eclipse, the sun is trining my sun, and the moon will be sextiling my sun. So pay attention to that. All right. Sag, Gemini, and mutable. Let's look at the mode first. Mutability means adaptable, changeable, versatile. So the energy of this is not intense like fixed signs and not rah like cardinal signs. This is an easier flow. All right, so you will find it easier to bend and to adapt to circumstances, which is a really, really good thing because of the situation with the pandemic, particularly in the U.S. The sun in Sag talks about adventure. It talks about travel, which we are not going to do, right? And I will tell you here that we have changed our Thanksgiving plans. We are under a stay-at-home order, so I will be delivering meals to people and we will not be gathering. I hope that you're going to be staying safe over Thanksgiving. Of course, this full moon is hitting afterwards. I want to look down here at the Pluto-Jupiter-Saturn stellium for a hot second. Jupiter has moved past Pluto, is no longer conjunct as far as transits go, but it is conjuncting Saturn now. And so we've moved on from, Jupiter being the expansion principle and Pluto being dominance, the expansion of this kind of domineering, dictatorial extremism. Now, as Jupiter conjuncts Saturn, it is time to pay the piper generously. Jupiter and Saturn both dealing with governments and structures and things like that, and public agreements, all of that. So I wonder if we might see some people forced to shake loose some money for the American people. Let's hope that's the way it goes. You can certainly put that out there in your intentions on the full moon. So moon in Gemini is emotions that get talked about. Easy time to talk about how you feel. Put it into words. it's also easy to sort of intellectualize your emotions and think about them rather than feel them. So the reminder here is make sure you're feeling what you need to feel. And the Sun Gemini is sort of the, networking and communication, up close communication versus global communication. That's sort of the polarity. Basic information versus what we do with that information, wisdom, what we learn from it, our philosophies. So it really is all about communication, ideas, philosophies, and when you're culminating here, make sure that any spell work you do, that there's a verbal component to it, because that will make it more potent with the moon in Gemini and sun in Sag. Certainly the wanderlust could be there. This, really wanting to shake loose your chains and travel. Get in the car, take a drive, but stay away from other people. Please, please, please. Things are literally deadly serious right now. We also have the moon in an inconjunct, a bit of a wide inconjunct with Venus. So there's adjustments that need to happen. Venus in Scorpio talks about maybe we can get a little bit obsessive or manipulative with our affections and our values. So we need to adjust that with how we're feeling emotionally. There might be a tendency to really take care of your feelings by eating, by all of the things that bring pleasure, all of those Venus things. So let's just adjust and make sure that we're not going overboard with that. We also have the sun in conjuncting Uranus, and sun being creative expression and also constitutional health, by the way. And the inconjunct with Uranus says that things can be prone to sudden, unexpected change. And so we need to be able to adjust for those changes. And minimizing our actions. Sun is, here's what I am doing. I will. The sun says, I will. And so in conjuncting Uranus, our will can come really bumping up hard against things that we cannot control. So, really a good idea not to gather. I mean, the only place we go ever anymore for months and months and months is to the grocery store and back. To the store and back. I unfortunately have to go to the store today to pick up some shipping boxes for items that I have to ship, but that's it. And we're going in duck and cover mode, early in the morning when things are clean and not many people are there. Okay, I think that may be all I have to say about this chart. It's a quick one. Let's see if there is anything else going on here. The aspects are just not there. Things are pretty spread around. There's not a lot. If you look in the center of the chart here, there's not an awful lot going on. Oh, sun trines. What? No, it doesn't. All right, they've got a sun Chiron trine, but that's wide. I only give 2 degrees of orb, even with the sun and the moon for transits, because it just really, you just need to keep it tight, or you can be off into fantasy land and manufacturing a lot that isn't there. We have Mercury sextiling this Jupiter-Saturn conjunction. It's sitting right in between. Jupiter is at 26, Saturn's at 28, Mercury is at 27. So we're going to see a lot of negotiating and communicating around this time to pay the piper. For us personally, I think about governmental things, but with Jupiter coming up on Saturn, Jupiter ruling travel, Jupiter ruling the sun sitting in Sagittarius, you're not going to get away with things. If you travel with Jupiter conjuncting Saturn, you will pay the price. So that's really significant. And Mercury ruling the moon, sitting in Scorpio, takes things to extremes, and so that can add a little bit of intensity and extreme quality to how we process emotions and how we talk about them. So please, please, please keep yourself safe. I'm looking to see if there's anything else that I missed here. All right. I think that is significant that Jupiter ruling the sun is coming up to conjunct Saturn, or is conjuncting Saturn right now. So please do not take any chances right now, because you're not going to get away with it. But with your spell work, you can be far-reaching. The sun says it's sun in the sun in Sagittarius says the sky's the limit as far as what I want to express in my spell work, and make sure that there's an emotional quality to it and there's a verbal quality to it, and you should be good to go. All right, you guys, I hope you got something out of that. I am still on my little break, and it's wonderful. It was wonderful not thinking about the computer yesterday. So take care. Please, my patrons, have a safe Thanksgiving Day. Everybody else will be seeing this afterwards, so I hope you had a safe one. I will see you again when I do. Actually, I'll see you again tomorrow for another unboxing for the general public. Until then, this is the Zen Witch. Blessed be.